Greetings to all from Revealing the Hidden. We had come back to the next session of the topic flirting, and in this session we are going to deal how we can be alert if someone is trying to flirt with us and what is the spiritual approach towards flirting. Yes, Atul, today we are going to discuss how we can be alert if someone is trying to flirt with us.
Okay, so that depends on what gender, if it's a female or it's a male approach. So how do you want to start it?
You can talk from both sides.
From both ends?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the scenario like? A guy approaching a woman
Yes.
and he finds her very interesting, very
Yes.
attractive. I'd like to know, how is this? Like, is the girl spiritual or the man?
Let's talk in a common man's aspect.
A layman's?
Yes.
Okay.
Later we can deal with the spiritual aspect. That's the
Absolutely.
next session.
I understand. Okay. So if a man is approaching a woman and the woman is not interested, the woman has every right to turn away and walk away,
Yes.
even after the person tried to approach her in a very unevenly manner that made her very uncomfortable.
Right.
So I would always recommend a woman would not entertain such a stranger and would approach her in such a way saying that I'm waiting for a friend, or I'm waiting for my boyfriend, or my husband is just gone to the washroom. You know, there are several ways that you can prevent from predators. I would call them predators.
Right.
Forgive me for using such a word, but if you don't want to be approached, use these ways that you are waiting for somebody. You know, this is one of the ways that you can prevent yourself from be I would say
Right.
flirted upon, or being attacked. What do you think, sir?
Yes, Sidhu, you explained actually in one perfect line that speaks something so that the other person can understand there is a secured person next to her at that particular context. As what you said is correct. Along with that, what we can understand one thing is nowadays the girls are also not less. They are also entertained to be flirt upon. So I would say if anyone wanted to be like that, let them go like that. But if anyone want to prevent themselves, we have a tongue and we have a body language. There is a verbal and non-verbal communication, we can say. Indirectly or directly, the way I speak will make you think, should I speak the next line? So this way I can react to him. May not be in a rude way, in a nicer way. But still that guy is again prompting or continuing the way of talking, then it won't be mannerless to be rude, because it is an attack on the mind. Maybe the insult on the body of that woman where she's alone and she may be insecure about it. Other thing what we can understand that when a stranger or a person is speaking like that, don't give a body language that make him talk again. Don't
Yes,
smile
correct.
at
That's
that
true,
person, and the way you talk will make him think whether to continue the next thing or walk away from him. And if a touching happens, just throw the hand in such a way that he or she need to be thought one more time to continue with this act. So these are the different ways I think we can prevent in a public way, or as a common man, these are the ways we can avoid flirting from a stranger or the person whom I'm not interested with.
I truly agree with you. The first part when you meant that to avoid the person.
Right.
After avoiding the person, I don't think the person would have the guts to even approach her physically.
Right.
That's so true. That's very correct. That's another approach we can do. But when it goes out of hand, for example, we take if the male or the female is intoxicated and approaches her physically, that's when you have to take matters into your own hands by just gushing away his hands. That's so true.
Call for help is also another way to scream and tell that I need help. Obviously, public will come. This is not happening in a very secluded area.
Absolutely.
So call for help, because whenever emergency happens, we all call for help.
Yes.
So we need to be trained, or we should be dare enough to scream and ask for help, because help will come when you open up.
What if that person is in a very secluded area? She's waiting for her ride to come pick her up.
Yes, that is a very a strange scenario where we can think about it. Actually, there is police is giving help on that particular area, so that we need to train people how to face this kind of what incidents, what can be happen accidentally.
That's
I
so
think
true. That's correct.
as I said that call for help or react in such a way that in my strength how I can protect myself.
Correct. And,
Another thing, the last thing is what run away from the scene.
I like that. I like the first point that you mentioned, that call for help. I would like to add another thing, and I would always advise a woman, especially my wife, that when she's feeling that she's followed or she feels threatened by something, I would always tell her to pretend that you're calling me, pretend you're talking to somebody, and you just act like, hello, yeah, I'm standing right over here. Where are you? Oh, you're reaching in 2 minutes. Make sure that you're speaking loud on the phone, so the other person would feel that she's waiting for her husband to come. That's one way every woman can prevent from getting attacked. Another way, like Sindhu said, is about nowadays women are getting trained in the field of martial arts, self-defense.
Right.
Not many women are eligible to physically go through that defensive mode, but a lot of people advise them to take some preventive actions like carry pepper sprays.
Yes.
There are a lot of other actions, carry a small knife and all that, but we don't want to go into that. What we are here to speak about is about how we should prevent being approached by a person who's trying to flirt with us. And this not only goes for a female, but even a male. What do you say about that?
You explained it furthermore. I think that is correct enough, and we have done justice to this particular question.
Yes.
Now, the last thing of this particular session is what is the spiritual aspect, or how do you explain the concept of flirting in a spiritual approach?
Okay, so we have touched it in every manner, wherein how we prevent ourselves from being flirted upon, or how do we identify a person who flirts with us. How do we look at it spiritually? Well, see, our bodies, when God created us, God didn't create us designed us to flirt. He designed us to make that other person know more about Him, to speak about Jesus. God has not designed us to flirt.
Right.
He has, actually, we are here to glorify Him.
Right.
And in Matthew, it is clearly spoken that how we are not supposed to tempt anybody to sin.
Right.
And I do believe in that in Matthew, and how we can take an example of Ravi Zacharias. All of us know what happened and how things are going haywire in the media.
Right.
So I totally understand. If you ask me spiritually, and if I would quote Bible verses, there's n number of verses. One of my favorite is that you don't look at a woman in a lustful manner. If you do look at her, you have already committed adultery. And majority of those who try to flirt is only one intention. And I've read this research by a very famous scientist. Sorry, I can't collect his name. Dr. Robert something. And he mentioned clearly that everybody's intention, everybody's looking out for something. I'm majorly looking out to be with somebody who can fulfill their desires.
Right.
And what is their desire? The desire of the flesh. They want to satisfy their flesh. They want to satisfy their cravings. So majority of these people are approached in a sexual manner to fulfill their desire. So we don't think that there's something called as a harmless flirt. I don't believe in that. Flirting is flirting, and it needs to be changed, not only with an individual but in the community. We need to approach a gentleman's approach, the way we need to address a woman, the way we need to call her out or ask her with her permission. The same goes out with a woman too. What do you think, Sindhu?
See, if I need to speak, I can ask only one line. Will anyone like if someone is flirting to his mother or his sister? No, right? So this is the same take I would say, that if you don't like your mother and your sister not to be flirted, it is not supposed to be done for anyone else.
Yes.
And the second thing is Bible clearly speaks that it is. Should I continue?
Oh.
Bible clearly speaks that if you tempt anyone for sinning, you are a sinner.
Yes.
Or you're trying to entice a person, you're trying to get attraction from that person. So you are sinning yourself and you're making the other person to sin.
Yes.
Now the Bible word says that if you wink at a woman, you are a sinner. And as you said that in Old Testament, Bible is divided into before Jesus and after Jesus' time. Before Jesus, if you're doing adultery, you will be beheaded.
Yes.
Or you'll be stoned to death. And in New Testament, the rule is in such a way that in your mind, if you have any thinking to have a sexual immoral way of approaching, you're already done adultery.
Yes.
So understand, flirting is something coming first from your thoughts.
Yes.
Then it is reproduced from your mouth or by your external appearance or external expressions of body language. So understand, you already done a sin and you are called to be an adulterer.
Okay.
No one would like to be called adulterer, right?
No.
So it's a shame to be called like that. So obviously you're not supposed to do that, and it is very clearly written, if you are following Bible, you are supposed to renounce ungodliness and the worldly thing, and you are called to be self-controlled under the grace of God. And for this, the prayer and the word of the Bible really need to be in us so that we'll be out of temptations. Actually, when someone is flirting with you, you are tempting the other person.
Okay.
Tempting doesn't come from God. So if you are tempted, understand, to escape from temptation, you should be filled with the presence of God so that you can be away from this kind of attack.
So more like our flesh is crucified.
Yes.
That's when our desires are completely eliminated.
Correct.
And then our approach tomorrow to anybody of the opposite sex would be different.
Right.
Am I correct?
Yes.
So how can we conclude this?
So I would say that flirting is an innate behavior we can expect from anyone in this world.
Can you expect it between a married couple?
Obviously, it is expected you should have in between the couples of a marriage, because that enhances your marriage.
Absolutely.
You are called to do the
totally
kind
agree
of
with that.
talk between a husband and wife, not between others.
Very
So
good.
we
Yes.
need to understand that where we need to draw the boundaries.
Yes.
We need to be trained and we need to teach others how to draw boundaries. And being flirted or listening to a flirt talk is actually not expected in a public scenario. So understand, the private life also is not to be expected. It's something what you cherish.
Yes.
So understand what is my base of my principles is what has taken me ahead in my life.
Okay.
So I think we had done justice to this particular topic.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you, Atul,
Thank you.
for
Thank you
joining
so much
for
for
this
having
particular
me.
session, and your insight has been a good help for all of us
Thank you.
in this particular thing. If any of you people have any doubts on this particular topic, please feel free to talk to us or contact in the details given in the video. So next week we are coming up with next interesting session. Till that, stay safe and stay happy. Thank you.